Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this video I'm gonna finally tackle this modification I've been wanting to make to my Squier Contemporary Telecaster forever now. Basically what I want to do is drop a middle humbucker in here and then swap in a new control harness from Gun Street Wiring Shop that's going to give me some fun options. I spent a lot of time thinking about what I wanted this guitar to do, and I knew that I wanted to put the humbucker in there, and I knew I wanted coil cuts to get single coil sounds, and I was coming up with all these really complicated ways to make this guitar do everything, and I realized I don't want it to do everything. I want one pickup at a time, humbucker or single. I don't care really for blending pickups for the most part. I very rarely ever do that, so let's just make this kind of a bare bones modded rock and roll machine. So this control layout here, this wiring harness, what it does is it gives me a three-way switch that will be wired for one pickup on at a time with a coil cut that applies to all of the humbuckers. All three of them will be cut at once when I pull that out, in theory. I mean, I haven't wired it up and tested it yet, but that is the idea. So before I can even get to dropping in the control stuff, I have to route out the pickguard to make a hole for this pickup, obviously, and I have to route out the body because it is cut for a middle single. I could throw a single in there super easy, but it's not cut for a middle humbucker. So I'll have to bust out the power tools to make that happen. So anyways, to start this process, I've got to mark out where I'm going to put this humbucker. And there's two options here. I could either center this between the two pickups perfectly, or I could center it in between these two edges of the white space of the pickguard perfectly. That would put it a little bit offset between the two pickups, but visually it might look better. So I'm going to test that out right now. I've got a center finding ruler here. If you've never used a center finding ruler, basically you can find center with it. There's a mark in the middle, and then it measures out from that mark. So let's find center between these two pickups. 4 inches exactly between these pickups. I wonder if that's intentional. It just seems such a perfect round number to have them perfectly on 4 inches. That's kind of crazy. All right, let's drop the pickup in there, see how it looks. I mean, it does look a little bit wonky just because there's more pickguard material on this side versus that side. But having the pickup actually be centered seems like it'd be smarter to me for some reason. Let's see how it looks centered on that pickguard. 2.5 inches is the center. Man, I don't know, because that looks better to me. Even though it's not actually symmetrical, it is off center. The white pickguard makes it look symmetrical. That's a tough decision right there for me. Oh man. Can I tilt it? Should I do a Z shape or an S shape? That would be stupid. I'm going to center it between the pickups, and maybe I can find a white pickup ring. Who cares? I'm going to center it between the pickups. That feels like the best option to me. All right, so I need a piece of tape. All right, that looks good. Wonder if I should just drill a guide hole for that right now while it's all put down there. This tape could accidentally peel up. All right, I've got a little tiny drill bit here, way smaller than it needs to be, just to permanently set a guide. And the tape came off with a drill. What is with this tape? It's barely sticky at all. All right, so to do this correctly, I'm gonna need to have a routing template for this humbucker sized hole here. I don't have a routing template, which means I have to make one, which means I need a guide to make a humbucker routing template. Oh look, I've got one right here. I'll use this and cut a routing template out of this pickguard here into a piece of wood, and then use that as a routing template for right there. So now I've got some tools to set up. I'll throw a camera on all that, and then we'll be back when I'm ready to do other stuff. All right, guys, I'm outside with my, my ghetto router table here. What do you expect? I made a little blank out of a scrap of wood. The screws that I have the pickguard affixed to it go through, so I put these furniture pads on the side so it slides around just fine on this wood. Drilled a hole through the middle for the router bit. And if all goes according to plan, I'll be making a router template for this humbucker shape to go right there. All right, let's see what happens. Hopefully I don't lose a finger. So kind of a huge bummer, and something I should have anticipated, is that the bearing on the router bit got hot and started to melt in to the pickguard material there. So, all right, I'm already well along my way of making a Ryan style mod here, where things go bad and nothing's quite right. But what can you do? There's a little thin layer of wood here at the top that I need to break away. But whatever, that's just the way it's going to go. I've got a routing template now. They'll match. Maybe I can come up with some sort of way of covering it up with a pickup ring or something like that, or just own it. Just own my sloppiness. I'm an amateur here. I've never pretended to be anything else. All right, let's see if we can route out this guy now. All right, so I figured out what happened with the bit here is that the bearing actually froze up. It's a dead bearing now. It was completely new. I hadn't used this bit before doing this, which makes me think that just it's a cheap bit that sucks. I don't know. People who do this sort of stuff, who use routers more than I do, is this the sort of thing that should happen? Should the bearing on a bit die after 40 seconds of use or whatever? So anyways, I put together this jig. Hopefully the bit works all right for this. It's going to be against wood instead of against the pickguard material for this part. It's going to be sticking through and using the wood as a guide. I put an extra piece of wood up here to correct that uneven dip I got right there, thanks to that heat. So anyways, I'm going to put it face down and see what happens, see how bad I can ruin this. I don't have a replacement bit that's the right size right now, so this is what I have to roll with. We'll see what happens. Well, I did it. It's about as clean as you would expect from me. I mean, there's parts where the bit jumped around in my route, but it's a hole. The pickup should fit in there. And if I want a professional job done, then I'm gonna have to hire someone else to do it. But this will work for the time being. Whatever, this is the quality of work I expect from myself. If I ever get better than this, then I'm surprised, honestly. All right, let's Let's grab the body and route out the body now, which should go smoother than this, honestly. That's something that's way more my wheelhouse. All right, time to route this thing out. I've got a different bit on the router. I've got the area taped out so I don't scratch up the guitar too bad. I mean, fingers crossed. The depth set on the router. And I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this. Because what could go wrong, right? It's not like I've ever made a mistake in my life. All right, man, happy to be out of the hot sun. Happy to be done with the part of the projects where I make a lot of mistakes. I mean, not the most perfect pickguard route in the world. Not the most perfect body route in the world. The body route is better than the pickup route, I'll say that. It's still, you know, fly by the seat of my pants, eyeball it level stuff. You know what? That's why I like buying cheap guitars. That's why I like Squiers. That's why I like Mexican Fenders. You get off the used market. You can do whatever you want to them. Who cares, right? They're project starters. They're guitars for fun. Oh man, I gotta clean out some of that sawdust. I'll be right back. Assuming I didn't screw this up too bad, this should all just go right back together, right? Start with the neck here. So something I'm doing is I'm taking the bridge pickup, the stock bridge pickup from the Telecaster out, and to move that to the middle position. It's marked a KD pickup bridge 52.5. I'm going to put in this Seymour Duncan that I have into the bridge. I'm assuming is going to be a nicer sounding pickup. This actually came out of the Titan by Cower that I have. So I wanted to make sure I got that put together the right way before I buttoned the whole thing up. I like to use power tools for taking stuff apart, but I found for putting stuff together, it's just a way to make bigger mistakes quicker. So I prefer to use hand tools. Because I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. Uh-oh, I didn't think about this. I'm going to need to drill an extra big hole to fit both these wires. That shouldn't take too long. Here goes nothing. This is how mistakes are made. Okay. Oh, ooh, so close. It's tight. That middle pickup ever so slightly fits into the route. I had to bend it a little bit in its on its screws to get it in there. So those pickup routes are kind of messed up now. That one's pretty messed up on the side. That one's pretty loose in various spots. But I think once they're put at height, it'll mostly not be noticeable. Mostly. If I ever try to sell this thing, the buyer's gonna spot it right away. And I'll just have to be like, that's why it's $100 cheaper than a stock one. gonna mark this red guy here as the neck. This guy here is the middle, so don't forget. No fun rewiring stuff. Well, there it is. The metal on the Seymour Duncan pickup is a slightly different color than the other two, but being separated from the other two will make it probably not noticeable. Next, I got to do all this stuff with this, and then wire things and whatnot. All right, I'm going to set up to do that. Old wiring harness is out. It's really not much to it. Once you get it pulled out, a 3-way switch and 2 pots. The tone pot says 250K, and the volume pot says B250K. So we're swapping out 250s for, let's see what the Gun Street ones say. 500K volume pot on the push-pull, and 500K tone pot. So this might actually help open up the sound of this guitar quite a bit just by swapping in some higher K pots. Put that switch tip on there. Oh, it won't fit. I'm gonna need to get a switch tip that fits on this specific switch. Uh-oh. These screws are not compatible with this control plate, it appears. Or they're very tight. I might need to ask them politely to go through. No biggie. I'll ream them out with the drill. That took 2 seconds with the drill to ream out those holes. Now the screw fits perfectly. Uh-oh, those holes are too small too. Sean is using a different size component here than Squier is. Probably higher quality. I can't blame him. But yeah, I'll have to ream those out as well. Be right back. That one took a little longer, but a couple quick hits with the drill bit got them in there just fine. Will be just my luck if this stuff doesn't fit into here. Time to look at the instructions. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, here we go. This is something really cool about Gun Street, is that they do an awesome job of telling you exactly how to wire stuff up. All right, time to string it up. Gotta set the Darios here, because of course I do. Set of 10s. All right, it's all ready to go. I've got it all strung up. I even found some knobs for it that would work. They're actually knobs off an old Yamaha amp that I kept. I still need a switch tip. Obviously, I'll have to order that. Maybe I'll get some white knobs and a white switch tip to go with the pickguard. That could look kind of classy. So anyways, let's check it out. Here is the bridge pickup on the humbucker setting. And here it is on the coil cut setting. I like that. Compared to the humbucker. Coil cut. That's great. Oh man. All right, middle position now. Again, there's no 2 and 4 position. It's just one pickup at a time with this thing. I've already pulled it out of tune. I'm gonna have to learn how to be careful because my go-to placement for picking is right over that middle pickup and I'm tapping it. I'm getting a sound when I do that. I might just have to lower that pickup, honestly. There we go. Let's check out the coil cut sound. I don't know if it's a difference between the two different pickups, the Seymour Duncan versus the stock pickups, but this one's a lot quieter. Let's check out the neck pickup. It must just because the middle one was lowered. Let's try putting it back up. Closer. When using the middle pickup, I am going to have to learn how to pick in a different place because I am tapping that pickup pretty good. Plenty output when I put it back to that setting. Here's the coil cut again. I wonder if that pickup's a little microphonic too. I could live without that middle coil cut setting. It might just be the pickup, honestly. So here is that neck pickup. I mean, brand new strings. Of course, I've got to tune a bunch. All right, here's that neck pickup. Man. Let's check out the coil cut. Sounds a lot nicer than the middle, but still big volume drop with the coil cut versus the bridges coil cut to humbucker. That Seymour Duncan just sounds so nice is the reality of it. I think I should back that off a little bit. Maybe that'll help balance it out. No, I think it really just is a difference in the quality of the pickups, which makes me want to track down 2 new Seymour Duncans to match this, to put into this guitar, because it just sounds so good compared to those stock humbuckers, which I honestly thought I really liked in this guitar. Humbucker. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to track down some more Seymour Duncans for this thing because that bridge pickup is pretty great. All right, I'm gonna throw on some dirt and some delay and have some fun on some different settings. All right, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude, nasty comments. Support us on Patreon, blah, blah, blah. Buy a shirt. Go check out Gun Street Wiring Shop. I mean, they've been a sponsor of ours in the past. I'm pretty happy with my decision to get a wiring harness from them for this project. It saved me a buttload of time and trouble. I mean, time more than anything, really. Jeez. I made enough of a muck of this thing with having the harness. Imagine if I had to put together my own wiring harness to do this. So anyways, bye everybody. Stay grounded. See you in the next video.